The voice of Nassau Community College.
I love this station.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD Garden City.
September girls do so much and for so long till we touched. I loved you, boy, never mind. I've been crying.
Welcome to another edition of From the Pressbox, right here on 90.3 WHPC HD Garden City. My name is Rob Leonard, and of course joining me is award-winning sports writer, and yes, my brother, Tim Leonard.
How you doing?
And we'll talk sports every Monday, like we always do.
Yes, we do. Every Monday.
Every Monday. A lot of things happening this past week.
Crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff, some good stuff, some crazy stuff.
First of all, just quickly, I just want to get this out of the way in the beginning.
What's that?
OJ is back from the dead. He was in jail for, 8 or 9 years?
9.
And this week they had his parole hearing, and guess what? It was big enough news that not just the cable networks, the cable news channels covering, which of course you expect because they have no programming, but, just hold it to me. But he was also on channels 2, 4, and 7, the big networks.
Everybody broadcast OJ.
And I'm not sure a Fox channel, regular Fox.
Of course they did.
No, Fox News channel did, but I'm not sure if regular Fox did. So anyway, you get this thing like, why are they showing this on television? Yeah, OJ sells papers.
OJ is news.
Yeah, but you know what? If it was for Nicole and Ron, I would say, yeah, okay, maybe. But he was in jail for not doing that. He got off of that, and he was put in jail because he was trying to get his memorabilia back. And
he was put in jail for, I believe the charge was armed robbery, even though OJ wasn't holding a gun.
Right, but he was there, and he arranged
his friend was holding a gun,
yeah.
And he organized this invasion, let's say, of a hotel room of somebody who apparently had been a friend of his,
right,
who he thought had stolen a lot of his memorabilia, trophies and footballs and all kinds of stuff. So he went there. I mean, there was videotape of what happened in the hotel. I've seen it.
It was like made for television.
Yeah, and OJ went in and demanded his stuff and was screaming. Apparently, everybody had had a few drinks before they went in, and OJ demanded his stuff. But then part of the issue was they also stole pretty much everything that was in the room,
right,
which was a lot of stuff that didn't belong to OJ.
But OJ could have easily gone to the cops and said, hey, this guy has my stuff, and he probably wouldn't have been in jail. Not that I care about OJ, I don't. But,
Yeah, that would have been the reasonable way to handle it. But we all know by now that OJ is not exactly the most reasonable guy in the world.
The reason he went to jail was because of Ron and Nicole. So they released a photo of her being killed in front of the house.
Right.
Whew, bad photo. Lots of blood.
Oh, all right. I don't know. I know I wouldn't want to see that picture.
No,
I haven't seen that because I'm not really sure what you're talking about, and I don't think I want to know.
So anyway,
let's not talk about
so anyway,
that.
I just wanted to say there was no reason to show him on the major major channels, but
you say there's no reason, but there is a reason. People are interested. Whether it's like how people look at a bus crash or a car crash. But OJ, because of the Bronco chase and because of who he was, because of course,
ESPN is showing stuff this week just conveniently, and
it's not convenient. They programmed it after the parole hearing.
Yeah,
that's why they're taking advantage of the fact that all of a sudden OJ's back in the news again. So yeah, all right. We're going to put on the OJ documentary and that all of that stuff. So there's a lot of OJ programming on right now. But what's OJ going to do? I don't know.
And the funny thing is, all his pension money has been deposited in a bank account. They keep paying him for it.
Well, he's getting $25,000 a month,
right.
Which
isn't that supposed to go to Ron and Ron's family?
No, apparently they can't garnish the pension, which I'm not really sure why.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure. I would love to know, and I would have to call the league, but I would love to know how it is determined who gets what on a pension. Because OJ's getting $25,000 a month. That's $300,000 a year.
Yeah, well.
And you hear about players, former NFL players who are broke But if everybody was getting $25,000 a year, nobody would be broke. I can't imagine that these guys would be in such a situation.
Maybe it picks up money along the way.
I have to assume maybe it was based on the salary that they made or something. I don't know, but
he didn't make that much money.
He had to be one of the highest paid players in the league when he was playing.
Yeah,
had to be.
Still wasn't a lot of money. Anyway, let's get out of the OJ thing. Thankfully, though,
yes.
We should say that years and years ago, our father was in an airport in Buffalo and saw the juice and got his autograph.
Was it Buffalo?
No.
I know he did get OJ's autograph. I just don't remember where he was. Could have been California.
I think it was San Francisco. I think it was. You're right. And we had it for a long time, and then one day we don't know what happened to it.
Well, I don't know. We think we know what happened to it.
Well, we don't want to say. Anyway, let's. I don't know where to start, my brother. The Knicks actually have some good stories this week, but the Yankees finally won a series. So let's start up there, because the Yankees. Let's be honest, the Yankees have been faltering a little bit, I think.
Here's where you can say, yes, the Yankees have been faltering, because they obviously have not been playing well for close to a month.
No.
But when you say falter, that means they're falling away. That's pretty much the definition of faltering, that they're stumbling and that things aren't going well. And the fact of the matter is they just beat the Seattle Mariners in series. They took 3 out of 4 games in Seattle, which is pretty impressive.
I agree.
But right now, they're only still 2.5 games behind the Red Sox. They actually made up ground, because they'd been 3.5 behind the Red Sox for the longest time. So if the Yankees have been faltering lately, then the Red Sox have been faltering too.
Yes, they have.
And the Tampa Bay Rays are also faltering, because they've been right on the Yankees' heels or tied with them for quite a while now. So basically, the Yankees have been playing to the same level as their competition. So, but right now, the Yankees actually gained a game, so they're only 2.5 behind the Red Sox, and only 1 game in the loss column, which is really, that's where real baseball fans look to see what the deficit is. 2.5 games is one thing, but it's really only 1 game in the loss column.
Tampa Bay is 3.5, which they're playing. Tampa Bay is 2 games technically behind the Yankees.
Right. So for what it is, first of all, let's end all the nonsense now. There was all kinds of hysteria about the home run derby ruined Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge is in a slump, and he's not going to do anything. And my idiot friend Croce in Boston, with one of his moron predictions that he loves to make.
And Croce is a real person. But
he loves to make the moron prediction. He says to me last week, Aaron Judge won't hit 40 home runs this year. All right, that's a special kind of stupid that only Red Sox fans have.
Well, you gotta be careful, brother. We might have a family member down the road, or down the road have a fammy member who's a Red Sox.
Yeah, but she's not stupid.
Well, I don't know.
All right.
I thought all.
No, we had a conversation.
I thought all Yankees. I thought all Red Sox fans were stupid.
No, they might show bad judgment occasionally, but they're not stupid. Croce's stupid.
Oh, okay.
He makes these ridiculous predictions, and 98% of them are wrong.
I would love to.
But
have
he
him
just
call
keeps
in
making it.
You should call in.
I don't want to give him the number.
He's a writer, right?
He was.
Okay.
He was a sports writer. He's basically forgotten everything he ever knew about sports. Because if he's going to make a prediction as dumb as that, to say Aaron Judge won't hit 40 home runs this year, I'm sorry, that's a stupid prediction. So, but Aaron Judge now has 32 home runs. He hit a moonshot in Seattle, almost hit the ball out of Safeco Field. The ball landed literally in the last row or the last 2 rows of Safeco Field.
Incredible.
And StatCast, which is the device or the measuring tool or whatever you want to call it, that they use to tell you how far a home run went. StatCast measured that at 440 feet.
Wow.
So I'm convinced that Aaron Judge has broken StatCast, because that was 480 or 490. There was 440 as a joke. It's the last row of the stadium.
Well,
nobody hits home runs up there. And now you're telling me 440? Come on.
I don't know. One thing I liked about Shea Stadium, there were a couple of places where they actually had, like, if you hit the ball that far in the upper decks, it'd be like, okay, this is 470 feet or something. Well, they should have that in different stadiums.
That's how it's supposed to be, and I think that's how they gauge how far a ball has gone, because it's supposed to be like row by row. It's like, all right, if it hits in this row, it's 410 feet. If it hits in the row behind it, it's 413 feet, and that's kind of how it goes. I can't imagine that to hit a ball to the last row of Safeco Field, like I said, I don't think anybody's hit a ball that far. And I know nobody's ever hit one out of Safeco Field.
Right.
So he hit one to the last row, and you're telling me it's only 400. If that's only 440 feet, then A, somebody would have hit the ball out of Safeco Field a long time ago,
right.
And B, Safeco Field would be a bandbox, and it's not.
It's not, and you know, I think maybe they're anti-Yankee fans. I think that might be it, Timothy.
I don't know, but
you know the the anti-Yankee fans out there. There's jealousy out there.
All I know is that rest easy, because Aaron Judge, all rise, is
there were some Yankee fans there who had the signs.
That's you know what? That's not Yankee fans. That's baseball fans.
No, it's Yankee fans.
There's a lot of people jumping on the Aaron Judge bandwagon. He is already turned into like a Mike Trout kind of guy, like a Bryce Harper kind of guy, where it doesn't matter who you root for. People are coming to see him. And they don't have to be Yankee fans, but they want to see Aaron Judge get a hold of one, and they want to see that 500-foot home run live.
I agree with you to a certain extent. When I remember going with our friend Rob, we'd go to when we had the Mets Sunday package, and we got the Cardinals, and it was Mark McGwire. Mark
McGwire, yeah.
And you know, there was a couple of times he hit a ball that was still ascending when it hit the back scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I understand that. We were like, oh, maybe he's going to hit one out. You know.
And that's what people show up for.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the people want to
yeah.
see, but it's that kind of star power. And if you look at it one way, you know, Trout is like the good guy. He's the you know, this is the guy I want my daughter to marry. Kind of, you know, he's everything that you love about the game. He hustles all the time. He's a great player, et cetera, et cetera. And Bryce Harper's kind of the bad boy, and you know, he loves to do the hair flip thing now. I mean, it's almost like it's branding now for him. And he's a guy who is a little more feisty and outspoken, and he's going to speak his mind, and he's going to get on the umps and yell at people and kind of be that bad boy.
Right. Okay.
So they're kind of the opposites. And Judge is obviously he's even more Mike Trout than Trout is. Clint Frazier was quoted in the paper today. Remember, I said about at least a month ago, I said that Aaron Judge is pretty much a combination of Derek Jeter and Mickey Mantle. Well, Clint Frazier was quoted in the paper today in the New York Post by Kevin Kernan as saying that Aaron Judge is the new Jeter. So it's good to see that people are taking what I say.
He's kind of Jeterish. You know?
He is Jeter. He's Jeter with power. They're when how they deal with the media, they're almost the same person. You'll sit there and talk to him for 15 or 20 minutes, and he'll say a lot of stuff, but you won't have a quote. That's how Aaron Judge is. He doesn't say anything, but it's everything he says is respectful, and that's good. I like that.
Well, you know, how many times did you say, you know, when you covered Jeter and the Yankees?
He was a bad quote.
He was a bad quote.
Terrible quote, as a matter of fact. He was.
But you always had to have him in the article.
Yeah, but he would speak for the team, and you know, he was that spokesman that you always had to speak with after the game. But like I said, you'd talk to him for 15 minutes, and people would ask him questions, and he'd never said anything that would get in the story, or he'd say maybe one or two things that you just used it because Jeter said it. But all of the quotes were pretty boring, and it's not a criticism necessarily, but it's just how he handled himself. He's very
protective of himself.
He wouldn't say anything that was critical necessarily, or if he did, then you knew that the message he was sending a message that way. I mean, he was very very careful about what he said and how he said it.
Sure.
And that's Judge is the same way. It's all and that's something a lot of players in today's era have learned from Jeter. And I'm sure their coaches growing up told them Jeter is how you handle a press conference.
Not Charles Barkley?
No, not at all. But
I love Barkley.
But that's what
Barkley
Judge brings.
has gotten as far as he has because he's outspoken.
Right. And Clint Frazier, supposedly, Kernan, the whole point of the story with Kernan writing today was how Clint Frazier is learning from Judge, even though they're both rookies. But Frazier is seeing how Judge carries himself and handles himself.
Right.
And the fact that even when he was in a little bit of a slump after the All-Star break, he was still having fun. He's joking with umpires. He's having – baseball players need to have fun. When the game becomes too much pressure and too much stress, chances are you're not going to perform any better. In fact, you're probably going to perform worse. So Judge was still poised. He was even keel. Everything was good. Clint Frazier, the only thing with him is he needs to talk a little bit less about himself. and then he'll be fine. Clint Frazier needs to. He's one of those guys who kind of feels the need to get himself involved in almost every sentence he says, and it's like, Clint, just stop.